My name is Sebbi and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Saturday, September 14th, 2024. Let me quickly break camp so that I can continue with my expedition and continue with my story of my journey to the Faroe Islands. I progressed to the last full day on the Faroe Islands, which took place exactly 1 week ago. So Saturday, September 7th was my last full day on the Faroe Islands. The day started a little bit cloudy. I went on my normal morning run. I decided to run up again to the airport. The airport is located really nearby to the village of Servagur, where I stayed. It's a little bit elevated, so there is a nice pass leading uphill, which also has a nice training effect, and goes basically parallel to the runway. I explored that pass a couple of days before already and had some nice action going on as there was some approaching traffic, which is kind of cool when you run right next to some low-flying airplanes. Super cool. Super nice feeling doing that, at least on my end. So yeah, I thought, hey, let's do this once again. Let's run up that hill again. Enjoy this uphill running. While I was doing this, I discovered the 10k checkpoint of an upcoming race. At least at this moment, I thought, okay, this exactly looks like a checkpoint on a somewhat longer race. But I wasn't quite sure. There were only a couple of flags and the electronic tracking device. No one was there, so I just thought, okay, that's kind of cool, kind of intriguing, but I'm not quite sure what is going on there. I completed my run, enjoyed my breakfast. As I was about to drive to the grocery store to get the groceries for the day, so some bread rolls as well as some more of the very delicious salmon they produce in the Faroe Islands. I saw some runners in the distance. It turned out that this Saturday was the annual half marathon on Faroe Island. Super cool. The track looks really amazing. It has a lot of elevation, which seems to be kind of challenging, but not like a full mountain race or so. It's still doable. It's still doable without too much training, I guess. I still felt intrigued. Unfortunately, I am currently not in the training for a half marathon. I mean, sure, I could have simply run the half marathon if I wanted. That's not so much of a problem, but there's always a little bit of an ambitious aspect in my running. So when I take part in such an event, I also like to be competitive, not with respect to the other runners, but with respect to my personal times. This wouldn't have been possible as I haven't done a real long run in quite some time. Also, the other challenge would have been that the race started on the western side of Faroe Island and basically ended on the eastern side of Faroe Islands, so I would have needed someone who would have brought me to the start line and also someone who would have brought me back to my Airbnb. Finally, I would have needed to know about that race before the race actually started. But yeah, this was super cool. I quickly drove to the grocery store, got all the groceries I wanted to get, drove back. I then wanted to get to a spot very close to my Airbnb where I can spectate a little bit the half marathon. There I met a marshal of the local running club and started to talk to him, learned about this half marathon race, learned about other races that take place in the Faroe Islands. This half marathon takes place every first Saturday in the month of September. So I guess I need to remember this and come back to the Faroe Islands when there's the first Saturday of September to take part in that race. I think this could be really cool. It looked really like a nice route all the time along the coast, or if not along the coast, then along that nice lake I hiked along to get to the point where I saw big cliffs and where basically the lake was flowing into the ocean. So really cool route. I think this must be a lot of fun doing this, but also, as I said, lots of elevation. Anyways, after all the runners ran past us, I decided to continue on. I wanted to do some unfinished business, so to say, or finish unfinished business. There were a couple of small places I haven't visited, but I marked them on my map for visiting. The most important goal was the little, it was not even a village, it was more of a farm situation or so, called Saxon. Saxon not only has some very old, beautiful farm buildings, wooden houses, with once again grass on the roofs and so on, but also a nice little hike to a black beach. The hike goes through a canyon or a valley. So basically, you start a little bit above sea level, then you descend down to sea level. You basically walk on at the bottom of a fjord. Well, it's not really a deep fjord, it's more of a beach fjord or so. And while walking out to that beach, on the left side and on the right side are steep mountains. So you really feel small in this part of the hike. You really see, okay, nature that big. There are waterfalls. There's some somewhat open water area, and it's just a great feeling being surrounded by the mountains, being inside of that little valley, noticing how small you are. So it was cool. This was really a nice hike, and then I got out to the beach, which was also very beautiful. Nice waves, not many people around. Really a nice and calm place. Used that beach again for a picnic with a marvelous view out to the Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, just had lots of fun out there, enjoying the entire atmosphere. It was more of a relaxed day, that last full day. On the one hand, because I wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed and I wanted to take it easy and not do so much driving. Instead, I also wanted to do some little hiking, and so I hiked out to that beach and so on, which was, as I said, super cool. And on the other hand, it was also a relaxed, calm day due to the half marathon. The only road from Servagur to the airport and further on towards the tunnel connecting Vagar Island with the next island was blocked for a short period of time due to the running event, which I found super cool, that they basically closed a main road for the runners, that they can run on it. I was really appreciating all the things, all the efforts I put into it. And also the fact that people seemed to understand it and were not complaining about it, but rather, like as I was talking to the marshal of the race, asking, hey, okay, do you have any recommendations what we can do here while we are waiting for the roads to be opened again or so? So there was not like, I need to pass there, I don't have time, what are you doing, why are you doing this? Lots of complaints. No, it was really a relaxed atmosphere, which I really enjoyed. As I was done with my Black Beach experience and I hiked back through the valley, I felt once again small between all those big mountains, which is always a nice feeling, realizing how strong and big and amazing nature is. That's always a great feeling. I drove back the little road, street, whatever, that brings one to Saxon. The road was really cool. I really enjoyed it on the way there and on the way back. There were lots of switchbacks. It was very narrow. Overall, it was really a fun road to drive on, and it was especially fun with my little car, as it's so agile. So it had really a nice acceleration, and what was really a great experience to zoom along that road with my little car. So there was a little bit of rally experience doing that, getting to Saxon and getting home from Saxon, having some kind of road rally. Really fun to do this there. The only thing that was then left to be done was to figure out how fresh, another baby cow, how fresh the water really is. So I decided to drive to a small little beach that is very close by to Servagur. So basically I had to drive through Servagur. I saw this beach every time when I was running along the coastal road. And I decided, okay, I don't want to have a real dip in the ocean. This might be a little bit too refreshing, especially that day. The clouds came back in the afternoon and it was a little bit windy, and so I thought, okay, if I do... That's interesting. If I have a full dip in there, might be a little bit too cold, but I at least wanted to get my feet wet and see how it feels. Man, wow. Look at this crazy underwater cave. This looks cool. This looks really cool. Okay. Neat. Really neat. Interesting. Man, so many cool things out here. So yes, so I just walked a little bit into the ocean. It was refreshing, but it was not too refreshing, so to say. So I would say one can do somewhat of a dip into the Atlantic Ocean. That's okay, but it's not like it's very, very comfortable in there. I think the water temperature was around 14 degrees Celsius or something like this. So yeah, it was definitely cool, but that not too cool. This was also a nice experience of nature. And yeah, this was basically the last unfinished task I wanted to do on the Faroe Islands. I mean, there are still plenty of more things I would have enjoyed to do, but that's basically with what I ended my expedition. So after having waited a little bit, enjoyed a little bit the beach atmosphere, the view out there, got back to the car as my feet got a little bit more dry. Drove to the fuel station of that little village to refuel the car, to return it filled up in the morning, and then returned home. Enjoyed once more some very delicious salmon before editing the last full day short video of my expedition to the Faroe Islands. Headed to bed in the morning. This was also why I wanted to stay at least this Airbnb, as I had to leave kind of early. So my flight took off at 8:15 or something like that. So I had to be ahead of time at the airport, and it was super cool that I only had to drive 2 minutes or so until I was at the airport. So this was also super convenient, and one of the reasons why I selected to stay there where I stayed. The airport was, I mean, this was what I talked about already on the first day, really nearby with my uphill runs next to the airport, parallel to the runway and so on. It took me as a runner, I don't know, roughly 10 minutes or so, maybe a bit less than 10 minutes to get up there, which really says, okay, I could have also run to the airport to get my flight, but this would have been a little bit more problematic with all my luggage, I guess. But sure, was not so much of a problem. So got to the airport. The last day where I had to leave started cloudy, and then as I was on the way to the plane, as I walked over the apron to get to the plane, it started to drizzle. It started even a little bit to rain. So yeah, I only got rain on the day of arrival and on my day of departure, which was perfect. This was really, really ideal that the weather for the rest of the trip stayed that good. And yeah, so boarded the plane. Overall, the Vagar airport, Faroe Islands airport, is super small for an international airport. This is super cool. It's you have a security check-in and so on, but since there's not much traffic going on and so on, everything feels super familiar on this airport, and this is also super cool. Such a neat experience in comparison to all those big airports. So yeah, really enjoyed the overall Faroe Islands experience. As you might guess by me saying the next time when I get back and so on, yes, I definitely like to get back. I really like to continue visiting the Faroe Islands. I really enjoyed this trip. I found it was really a fantastic journey. Could have been even a bit longer, simply because there are a few things that I haven't done, despite the fact that I tried to finish unfinished business on the last full day. It's really a great country. If you enjoy some northern landscape, northern nature, if you enjoy rough nature, areas without trees, that has, at least to my feeling, nice summer temperatures, Yeah, then Faroe Islands might be something for you. I compared it sometimes a little bit like, okay, this is like being on Iceland but without all the tourists, which is also kind of cool. So yeah, it was really an amazing thing. There are just a few things I wish I would have had the time to do. So this bamboo forest also super cool. So one of the things I wanted, or I wish I would have done, or where I wish I would have had more time, and which I like to do the next time I'm there. There are some smaller, very small isles you can only reach by taking a ferry there. I haven't had the time because I was out and about exploring all the time, so I haven't had I haven't had really the time to also take a ferry to explore one of those little islands. But there's, for instance, a small little island where a lighthouse is located, and you have a nice hiking path to that lighthouse, and it looked very scenic what I saw in the pictures. So I would have enjoyed visiting a couple of those remote isles, taking a ferry there. This would have been great. I would have enjoyed to really scale a mountain. As said, I was intrigued by the highest mountain of the Faroe Islands, which I haven't then scaled simply due to the wind, as I thought, okay, this might be not as great idea as maybe just visiting some other places, using the time instead for those activities. I would have also enjoyed to have an afternoon or so for just relaxation like, hey, going into another cafe. I mean, I was only in one cafe on the first 4 days I visit Tórshavn. And I think, yeah, visiting or enjoying some other coffees here and there. There were also some cafes in Sørvágur where I stayed. I think visiting those things would have also be a great thing. I was planning to do so, but every time I got back home to Sørvágur, it was already too late, and they'd already closed by the time I got home from my expeditions. So this would have been also nice. What I would have enjoyed to do. Of course, would have enjoyed to take part in the half marathon, but that's something for next year or so. Hi. So this would have been cool. Also, I would have enjoyed to visit some museums, just to also see a little bit more of their culture. This would have been nice. Overall, I'm really pleased with that journey. I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic trip to the Faroe Islands. I can fully recommend visiting the Faroe Islands. It's definitely amazing getting there. They, as for instance, explained with these plaques each village has with the main important sites, viewing points, information on for each village. They really care for visitors, but it's not overrun like on other popular tourist hotspots. So yeah, it's amazing there. It's really great. And there's lots of potential for seeing more things. So I definitely like to get back to do those things, climb a couple mountains, take ferries, sit in a cafe, visit museum, do all those things, and maybe visit some sites again, take a little bit more time there to just take in a little bit more the scenery. Yeah, those are the things I really enjoyed. And yeah, now 1 week after my last full day in the Faroe Islands, I'm about to travel again. This time I only travel to Berlin. Next week is the... Ooh! Next week is the final week, the exam week of my EMT. So next week I will hopefully become a professional medic, which is kind of cool. It starts Monday, and the end is the last exam is on Friday. So 3 days of training and repetition, 2 days of exams. I like to arrive in time, basically, or well, not in time, but since I stay at my parents', I also want to have some time with my parents before I have to go to school again, basically. So that's why I like to get there today already. The entire last week went by so quickly. I mean, I got back home from the Faroe Islands, recorded an episode of the coffee break, and then was already evening. Next day, work until Friday. In between trying to do laundry, doing other important things, and now I have to pack my backpack again to travel to Berlin. Everything feels so quick, so not rushed, but like, okay, there was absolutely no break in between, it feels like. So yeah, those are the plans, or those are the things that happened this week. Finished basically the paper. I will read it again during the train ride, and then I think that's it. Then the paper has to be good enough. Hi, did some got some other work things done, and yeah, that's I guess a quick summary of that week. So this is also the reason why there were so many coffee break episodes, because on the one hand I wanted to tell the story while memory is still fresh. On the other hand, I wanted to finish the story before the next adventure happens, which is the final week of the EMT, to become a professional medic. Yeah, I guess that's finally about it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you will join me after I'm back from my final week of EMT. Until then, my name is Sebbi. See you!